You're watching ABC7 News at 7.
There's a lot of national attention on this race, so certainly I think that helped get the voters interested. They certainly know about this election. We have a lot of people that have come to the elections office that don't even live in House District 72 trying to find out if they can vote in this election because they've heard so much about it.
After months of campaigning, fundraising, knocking on doors, the House District 72 special election is history. Polls are now closed. Who wins? Let's find out together. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. It is 7 o'clock. Polls are closed, and the votes are being counted. Who will win the vacant seat in the House District 72? The special election that has received so much national attention. Republicans James Buchanan, Democrat Margaret Good, or Libertarian Allison Foxall. The race is seen as a bellwether going into the midterm elections. It's expected to be a tight one. According to the latest poll, Good held a slight lead over Buchanan. Even though the special election is getting national attention, it was business as usual today for the supervisor of elections.
We took the normal steps that we take to try to make all elections accessible and secure here in Sarasota County.
We will have much more on the special election in just a few minutes. Former Venice Indian and Super Bowl champion Trey Burton is back home tonight in Venice, meeting fans and thanking them for their support. ABC7's Jess Dowdrick joins us from Bogies, where the meet and greet just kicked off. Jess.
Alan, it's been crazy here since before I even got here. I got here around 6:15 and fans were lined up around the building. Now let me step aside because I know it's not me that you guys want to see. It's Philadelphia Eagles tight end Trey Burton. He's sitting at this table behind me, signing autographs for fans, taking pictures. It's a little hard for you to see because there are so many people here that have lined up in front of him to talk to him. This is the first time that Burton has been home since the big Super Bowl win. He says it's been a whirlwind since that happened, but he's excited to finally be home and spend the offseason in Tampa with his family. Now, I had the chance to speak with Burton before the madness began tonight. I asked him how his time playing quarterback at Venice High School helped him throw that touchdown pass to Nick Foles. He said he couldn't have done that without his coaches here, his fans, and he kept telling me over and over again that he's just very thankful for the support that he's gotten back here on the Suncoast, and that's why he decided to host this event, because he says there's no better way that he can think of to thank his fans than to come out here and meet them and talk to them about the Super Bowl and his win. So Trey Burton will be out here at Bogies in Venice until 9 o'clock tonight, so stop on by. There may be quite a wait, so bring your patient pants. Reporting live in Venice, Jess Dowdrick, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
Jess, thank you. A heated battle over leadership and funding at the Palmetto Youth Center spills over to the County Commission meeting when the Children's Services Advisory Board wasn't going to give the Palmetto Youth Center any of its annual $114,000 in funding. Commissioner Charles Smith fought to get the commission to support it.
So once I seen he didn't show up to any of those meetings, and then, Madam Chair, when I found out that it wasn't a football program last year, I started inquiring about what was going on.
The facts, we do have programming. The facts, you're welcome to come to the Palmetto Youth Center at any time. The facts, the Palmetto Youth Center has more financial money than we've ever had.
The battle between the two is now just more than about the Palmetto Youth Center. Today, Bellamy announced his candidacy for Shaw's County Commission seat. A follow-up now to the 5-year battle between the city of Holmes Beach and the local couple over their backyard treehouse. The city issued a code enforcement notice on January 18th, directing the treehouse owners to apply for a demolition permit. Failure to do so within 3 weeks could likely result in a lawsuit. The deadline has come and gone, but the treehouse is still standing. According to the Islander, owner Lynn Tran emailed the paper the day before the deadline, vowing there will be no demolition. 2 gas leaks at Laurel Nokomis Elementary School forced cancellation of after-school activities today. The leaks happened earlier this afternoon after a vendor maintaining the fencing around the school broke a gas line. School went on as usual, and TECO responded to cap both leaks. A controversial proposal that would revamp regulations for for payday lenders continues moving through the Florida House. A House subcommittee approved the bill, which would allow payday lenders to provide longer-term loans for larger amounts of money than under current law. The bill would also allow loans to up to $1,000 with a repayment over 60 to 90 days. Current law limits the loans to $500 for 7 to 31 days.
The average loan, 83% of loans actually go to borrowers that borrow 7.7 times a year. More than half of these loans go to borrowers that borrow more than 12 times a year.
I find that offensive, that anybody would take the posture that because somebody is poor means they're either too dumb or not willing to or incapable of making buying decisions.
The Senate Appropriations Committee is scheduled to take up the Senate version of the bill later this week. Legislation to expand workers' compensation benefits for firefighters, paramedics, EMTs, and other first responders also continues to move through the Capitol. A second House subcommittee approved the bill, which would require workers' comp to cover mental health conditions like post-traumatic stress disorder. Currently, PTSD is only fully covered by workers' comp if the injury is accompanied by a physical injury requiring medical treatment.
Our first responders, they're important. They don't sign up because the pay is great. They sign up because it's their passion. They dream about helping others.
The measure has now passed 2 committees with one more stop before it can be considered by the full House. Now let's head over to ABC7's Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan with the first alert forecast. Bob.
Well, the word of the day is warm. We've had warm temperatures over the past several days now, well above average, and still at this hour, 78 degrees. The dew point temperatures come down because of the wind shift. We had a wind out of the west-northwest, and now it's out of the east-northeast, and it went from 70-degree dew point, which is summer-like, down to 60 that quickly. The pressure's still way up there, though, 30, 35. High pressure at the surface off the coast of Florida right now, providing us with that east to southeasterly wind component. And an old frontal boundary right here, a stationary front now. For the most part, that front is washed out. Temperatures are somewhat cooler behind it, though. We are looking at cooler weather for folks in Jacksonville and Tallahassee. And at the Big Easy, looking pretty good there right now. Some showers near New Orleans, but nothing going on there significant right now. The heaviest rain well to the west and north of that big party going on. And as far as we're concerned, the high pressure continues to dominate, and that means warm temperatures will stay with us right through the upcoming days. 78 right now. I mentioned the cooler weather behind the front. 54 in Jacksonville. It's 65 now in Tallahassee and 75 in Orlando. Well, here's the satellite imagery in review showing you what's been happening today. We've had a mixture of sun and clouds, a lot more clouds this morning and some clearing this evening. And looks like skies will be clear to get a chance to get a glimpse of the International Space Station as it goes by. We'll give you a little bit more information on that prior to it. It's at 7:33 tonight. If you look out to the northwest sky at around 7:33, one fist above the horizon.
You know, on a normal day I would do that, Bob, but we have a special election to tell you about. Still to come, we will go live to campaign headquarters for both Democrat Margaret Good and Republican James Buchanan. Stay with us.
Want the latest weather and traffic conditions wherever you go? Introducing ABC7's revolutionary new First Alert weather app. With our state-of-the-art new weather app, you get up-to-the-minute weather alerts, interactive radar maps, current conditions, 10-day forecasts, real-time traffic maps, and weather video from ABC7, all at your fingertips. And it's free. Just search Suncoast WX in the App Store and download onto all your devices today. Sponsored by Mr. Sparky.
Alex Karras Lincoln's 40th anniversary sale. Drive a brand new 2018 Lincoln MKC for $279 per month or the Lincoln MKZ for $299 per month. We have a great selection of certified pre-owned Lincolns. These vehicles have warranties up to 100,000 miles and come with complimentary roadside assistance. Alex Karras Lincoln, where our mission statement is consistent commitment. Every client, every time. Located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089, 800-329-3089.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Keep up with the Suncoast. Watch your favorite ABC7 shows on your streaming device.
Welcome back. It's one of the hottest races on the Suncoast in years, a special election in a crazy year for the district after former state representative Alex Miller resigned just months after being elected. We have ABC7 reporter Rick Adams at Margaret Good's campaign rally and ABC7's Dwayne Lindo at Republican James Buchanan's rally. Let's start with Dwayne. Dwayne, what is the atmosphere like?
Well, Alan, actually we're at Margaret Good's rally here. People are starting to pile in a little bit of a festive mood. People are anxious and are waiting for the results. Most people here, if not all the people here, are just confident that Margaret Good may make the next step. I was able to speak with the finance director for Margaret Good. They've raised, for fundraising, they've raised more than $726,000, which is one of the reasons why they're confident. And as far as Margaret Good, all of this morning, the campaign manager for Margaret Good says she doesn't take anything for granted. She's been all around the district this morning, knocking on doors, letting folks know what she's all about. She's did that all morning and all afternoon, trying to garnish a few more votes. And as far as the turnout is concerned, Ron Turner, we spoke with him this afternoon. This race probably coming out with a 28 or 29% turnout, which may be a record when it's all said and done. Alan, back to you.
Thank you, Dwayne. Now let's go out to Rick Adams, who is at the Buchanan campaign headquarters. Rick, what's going on there?
Yeah, Alan, good evening. Folks are still on pins and needles, but there is quite a bit of optimism here at the James Buchanan headquarters. And I'm joined by one of the campaign workers. It's Rebecca Taylor. Rebecca, thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
And first off, talk a little bit about what everybody is feeling here tonight, including yourself.
I'm feeling very positive. We had a very good turnout today, and where I was working, it was overwhelmingly supportive of James Buchanan.
And why did you get involved with the Buchanan campaign?
Well, I did work in support of President Trump for the last couple of years, and so I thought it was important to be in support of James Buchanan because he is a supporter of the president and his agenda, and I think that's very important.
Okay, and why do you feel James Buchanan is the right guy to fill Alex Miller's seat?
Because I think he will take a stand against sanctuary cities. I don't think that we need that in Florida, in Sarasota especially. And I think that he has conservative principles that I believe in, and whereas Margaret Good is very, very liberal, way too liberal for my taste.
Okay, Rebecca, thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
Good luck this evening.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, that's Rebecca Taylor. She is a campaign worker with the James Buchanan campaign, and hopefully we'll hear the results shortly, and we'll be back here a little bit later on in this hour. In the meantime, reporting live from Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams. Back to you.
Thank you, Rick. We have the most dynamic and insightful Republicans and Democrats on the Suncoast waiting for us at the trapezoid. The results are coming in. Don't go anywhere. You're about to learn who your new state representative will be.
Here's something we bet you didn't know. Nearly half of all cancers can be prevented. That's right, half. Nearly 50%, mostly by making small everyday changes in your diet and controlling your weight, walking more, eating less, and eating foods that help you and your family to seriously reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, by not smoking. Visit the Cancer Prevention Together We Can website and get a free 30-day planner filled with tips, recipes, stats, and more about protecting your family. Go to prevent50.org.
Stay connected to your clients and new customers using ABC7 digital media services. Our team of professionals provide a wide array of digital services to help you get the most out of your website. We specialize in building and helping you maintain the most effective digital solutions for your business. It's vital that your online presence stands out, so our experts will equip you with the best resources available. Trust ABC7 digital media services to give you the right tools to grow your business.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Growing up, my mom was afraid of the water, something she did not want me to feel.
So I enrolled Missy in swim lessons.
It changed my life.
Missy Franklin.
And now you can do the same for someone that you love.
There's nothing more precious than your child's well-being.
So act now, before it's too late.
Make us fly! I'm glad I did.
Thanks, Mom. Visit usaswimmingfoundation.org to find, get, or give a swim lesson.
Welcome back. House District 72 has traditionally been a pretty reliably Republican district, but nothing is traditional this year. Both sides would agree there's a lot of energy on the Democratic side. You can thank President Trump for that. The question is, can Democrat Margaret Good overcome the numbers? There are 13,000 more registered Republicans in District 72. A poll released just yesterday shows Good with a 3-point lead, but that is within the margin of error. Another question, what impact will Libertarian Allison Foxhall have, and will she siphon off votes from James Buchanan? We are about to find out together, and joining us for more are Jack Brill, Vice Chair of the Sarasota Republican Party, Melissa Howard, President of the Gulf Coast Republican Women's Federation, former Sarasota Democratic Chairwoman Rita Ferrandino, and the last Democrat to win this House district, Keith Fitzgerald. What's fascinating right now is you're all looking at the same numbers, and I could see for the last hour your spirits going up and going down and up again. Jack, what are you feeling right now? We're about to get the first numbers in.
Based on the voter turnout by party, I was very optimistic in the last 2 hours.
And what happened?
I'm watching the actual EV and AB votes actually come in. So when I say that by the number of registered Republicans that turned out, there was over 20,000 that turned out that voted. There were 17,400 Democrats that turned out and voted. There were 6,300 NPAs that turned out and voted. Don't know who they voted for. And now we're watching as the early, because it always, all the absentee ballots they've been going through the machines the last few days, they come out first.
Right, and Rita, what I was told to expect when the results first came in is you might see Margaret Good jump out to a lead because of early voting, but that James Buchanan would catch up because Republicans traditionally do better on Election Day.
Well, I first have to say that Democrats feel they've won just because with this large a voter registration gap, it's really hard when you've got 13,000 more Republicans in a race.
I know, but
that's
in
a
politics,
lot. That's a lot more votes to bring in.
There are no participation trophies, really.
And so we are really thrilled with how well she's held her own in early and absentee ballot voting. She was strong in both.
Melissa, we mentioned off the top the national mood right now, that President Trump has become a central figure in a lot of special elections around, not only around Florida, but around the country. And that even though he may not be an issue in this particular campaign, you know, as the polls ebb and flow nationally, it has impacts on local races like this.
I would agree, but I think Sarasota voters are very intelligent, and I don't know how much it played into it. I really don't. I was out at the polls for a few hours today talking to people going in, and I really didn't hear even, you know, the Democrats that I spoke to. It really wasn't about Trump. It was about what they felt about the economy, sanctuary city, education.
Right. Okay. So let's take a look at some of the numbers that have just come in. We are seeing Margaret Good out with that lead right now, 54.79% of the vote to James Buchanan's 42.78% of the vote. Allison Foxhall, 2.43% of the vote. But that is really only with a few precincts reporting. Keith Fitzgerald, you are a political science professor by trade and the former state representative. What does that tell you?
It's relatively good news for Margaret Good, and here's why. About somewhere in the neighborhood of 2/3 of the people vote by early vote, about 1/3 vote on the day of the election. Republicans actually turned out very well on day of the election in raw totals. But in the numbers that I was looking at, I assumed that if Good got 8%, it was going to be very difficult for the Republicans to win day of the election by 16%. We have her here now winning by 12% in what appears to be the early vote, and that sets a really high bar for the Republicans and Buchanan to clear to overtake that in the day of election.
But I also, as we all know, we've all been doing this throughout, in absentee ballots, the Democrats win.
There's no question.
Early voting, the Democrats usually win, and our vote comes out on election day. And that's we've been very fortunate traditionally in Sarasota to have that happening. So
that's absolutely right.
So as we watch going in, you know, we got to start seeing the precincts coming in. Now, there's only 32 precincts, you know. The other part that's absolutely amazing about this race, if the vote comes in the way it looks, at 44,000 votes, the largest special election for a House representative in this 21st century was at 22%. We've broken the 30% barrier, and it's almost like a special congressional election, you know, on this thing.
Two questions real quick. Number one, Jack, we were receiving reports all afternoon that really strong Republican turnout, you know, and Republicans around here are best known for their closing. But if Jack is right and voter turnout is so outstanding, Rita, what does that say to you?
What it says to me is that there's a lot of attention on this race, and I think Sarasota should be really proud that we've had such a great turnout for this House election. People are listening, people are participating.
Melissa, do you think that's good for just basically politics, you know, no matter what side of the aisle you're on?
Absolutely.
Right.
Of course. We want to see as many registered voters come out as possible.
Okay, we are just getting warmed up, and we have so much more to take on tonight, and an election in the midst. Right now, we will be back with more after we check the first alert weather, so stay with us.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetsi. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Thousands of award-winning Honda SUVs are on sale from $189 a month during the Honda President's Day sales event. You've got to see these SUVs. Get a surprisingly spacious 2018 HR-V, $189 a month, or step up to Pilot for $289 a month with available seating for 8. Plus, we have Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, the 2018 CR-V, and Ridgeline, a car and driver's 10 best. All on sale for up to $38.05 less than the competition at your local Honda dealer.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
It's that time of year when the roar of engines take over the Suncoast streets. I'm Joey Panic. On Suncoast View, we'll preview the 20th anniversary of Thunder by the Bay and talk about the changes over the years for this massive motorcycle event. There's plenty of singles here on the Suncoast. A dating coach will bring us dating survival tips. Plus, Manatee Players previews Hunchback of Notre Dame and Michael's in the Kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help. And slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back, folks. We have some new numbers in terms of the House 72 special election. Let's go right to them. Margaret Good, the Democrat, maintaining her lead over Republican James Buchanan. Good with 52.38% of the vote. James Buchanan, 44.67% of the vote. And Allison Foxall, 2.95% of the vote. But here's the big news. That is with 88% of the precincts now reporting, a total of 28 out of the 32 precincts now reporting. And boy, emotions among our Republicans and Democrats are up and down, up and down. We're going to have much more on our conversation right after we get a check of the first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, if you got time, you can go check out the International Space Station. Look to the northwest, and you'll see it going across the skies for about 5 minutes. You'll see it as it disappears south-southeast, and skies are generally fair for that. And right now, Casey Key webcam showing you can see some high clouds occasionally coming in. The sea's relatively quiet out there, and a nice sunset this evening. And as far as the rainfall goes, had a few showers around last night, and then this morning mainly to the north of us along an old frontal boundary there. That's a weak front. It's stationary right now, and for the most part temperatures are somewhat cooler beyond it, but much warmer out ahead of it. And there were a few spotty showers inland. Right now you can see 1 or 2 lone showers east of I-75 basically. Not much else going on out there. So you may run into an occasional shower here or there this evening, but most areas will stay dry. And as far as the forecast model goes, high pressure continues to be the dominating influencing factor of our weather. With high pressure sinking air, you don't get much in terms of chances for rain. And it's firm too. You can see the front comes down, kind of fades away, and then a little energy develops along that front and moves off to the east. We'll get some increasing cloudiness on Sunday to the north of us, but should not have an impact on our weather at all. Satellite and radar imagery showing again that old frontal boundary creating some clouds and showers to the north earlier. And in New Orleans, it's looking pretty good for Fat Tuesday. Right now, a lot of the rain well to the west and north of that area in Arkansas, western portions and northern portions of Louisiana tonight. The evening planner looks good for us, 72. And 11 o'clock, we should see very warm temperatures at that time with just a few clouds around. Current conditions, we have 78 degrees. The dew point is at 60, and winds are light out of the east-northeast at 5. The high today was just 3 degrees shy of the record of 86 set back in 1959. Well, the fog is not a problem right now, but I think tomorrow morning it could be in some areas rather thick. So that will be mainly in South Sarasota County, although I would not be surprised to see some of it in Manatee County as well. With the warm, moist air around, there's always that potential as the temperature drops close to the dew point to get that. 54 in Jacksonville now. That's the cooler air to the north of that front. 75 in Orlando, 77 in Miami. And temperatures right now near the coast, I should say, Cortez now at 70. The water temperature 74, but look at inland areas. Northport 79, 78 in Arcadia. Sebring now at 77 and 75 into Lake Placid. Well, the satellite and radar imagery not showing a lot of major storms right now. We have some showers and storms going to develop tomorrow into Tennessee and Kentucky and West Virginia. And then here comes another snowstorm. As it makes its way to the northeast, it will bring some snow into Pennsylvania, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Then another one moves and develops on Sunday, and that will be a rather heavy snow maker for Ohio and Pennsylvania and New York in time. Well, let's get to the forecast then and see what's going on for boaters tomorrow. Some morning fog around. Not too bad out there, though. Seas running 1 to 2 feet with a light chop on the bays and inland waters. The water temperature now at 74. UV index will be a 7. The 7-day forecast looks to stay warm right in through early next week. And I think we'll start to get rid of the fog problem by Friday as some slightly drier air moves in. The temperatures still staying warm on Saturday and Sunday with plenty of sunshine around. Low temperatures are running about 6 to 8 degrees above average through early next week. Al will be back and with his guests right after this. Stick around.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured or arrested, I know this feels like the end of the road, but really it's the beginning of a long, potentially stressful process. So give us a call. Let us give you some peace of mind.
I heard about the Detoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Detoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Detoli Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Here's today's job of the day. ABC7 is seeking a digital content manager to join our newsroom leadership team. CMS experience required. Visit mysuncoast.com/job-of-the-day to apply.
Welcome back to the most exciting night in politics this year on the Suncoast, the special election in House District 72. We have reporter Rick Adams at Republican James Buchanan's campaign rally and ABC7's Dwayne Lindo at Margaret Good's campaign rally. Let's start with Dwayne. What is the, let's go to Rick first. Rick, how is things going at Margaret Good's campaign headquarters?
Yeah, Alan, good evening. Thanks for tossing to me. And right now, we know it's been kind of a close race, and they are still confident that they can pull this out, the James Buchanan campaign. Now joined by Frank Patty. He is a secretary with the Sarasota County Republican Party. And what is the feeling right now, Frank?
Well, right now, we're cautious, but we believe he can do it. He can pull it out. We think he's the best candidate, and people will recognize that. Hopefully, we've been able to turn out the Republicans to vote. That was the key thing, and we've all been out there, in the field with signs and phone calls and everything else. So that's where our hope is, that we woke them up. I work with the veterans. We had Veterans Coalition voting for him, so that's where we're going with this.
Now, it appears he's down right at the moment. Do you think he can really pull this out? How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think he can pull it out. I think when all the votes are in, it's going to be very close, but I think he can pull it out, yeah.
Okay, and what makes James Buchanan the right candidate to fill Alex Miller's State House District 72 seat?
Well, one, James is conservative, and James isn't stuck in the mud on issues. He will take an issue for the right side of it, wherever he thinks it's proper. He's very knowledgeable and personable. He's a very decent person, which is very important in politics today because you don't have a heck of a lot of that. But he's a very decent person and will stand up for the average guy out there.
Now, I know we are in kind of Republican-heavy country here in Sarasota and Manatee counties. Is it kind of shocking that the race is this tight?
Well, yes and no. It depends on how many Republicans we got coming out. People tend to go to sleep in an off year or in a special election, and that's part of our problem. So we don't know, how tight it's going to be, and we worry about that, yeah.
All right, well, Frank, I do appreciate your few minutes here, and I hope for you and the Republican Party things turn out the way you're hoping they turn out.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Okay, that's Frank Patty. Again, he is secretary with the Sarasota County Republican Party, and that is the latest here. We'll continue to have these results coming in to see how all this plays out. In the meantime, I'm reporting from Sarasota. Alan, back to you.
Thank you, Rick. Now let's go out to Margaret Good's campaign headquarters, and that's where we find ABC7's Dwayne Lindo. Dwayne.
Well, Alan, just a few minutes ago, you had the crowd roaring. We had like a full house. Pretty much now there's a full house here now. Crowd was roaring when they saw, the statistics, the amount, basically Good is winning. So Good's winning. People are cheering. People are happy here. We're hoping to see Good here. We're hoping to see Good here in a little bit. Hopefully she'll arrive. We'll be able to talk to Good when she arrives. Alan, back to you.
All right, Dwayne, thank you. Let's take one more look at the numbers if we have them on the screen. With 88% of the precincts reporting, we see Margaret Good maintaining a lead over James Buchanan, 52% to 44.6%. Allison Foxhole at 2.95%. That's with 88% of the precincts reporting, and we have some of the best political minds on the Suncoast here right now. And Jack, your emotions have been going up and down all afternoon and into the evening. Is it over?
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely over. When you look at the numbers, the interesting part of the registered Republicans who voted, when you look at James's numbers, that he got approximately 480 votes. There were 480 Republicans that voted for Margaret. And it looks like, when you look at this, and Keith, you can confirm this, every single vote that Allison didn't get out of the 6,300 NPAs went to Margaret. Because if you look at her, the number of Democrats that voted was 17,470, and she got 23,000.
And Keith, you've been looking at this all afternoon. What are the numbers telling you about Republican cross? We're talking about Republicans crossing over to vote for Margaret Good.
Yeah, so there are three things that I saw coming into this that made me feel really confident. The first thing is that women were voting Democrat, Republican, Independent at higher rates than they usually do in comparison to men. And I thought that was a telling fact. A second thing is that infrequent Democratic voters, people who don't vote in primaries once, twice, the last three, were coming out in big numbers. That means Democrats were fired up. And in these last numbers, it's very clear that there were a substantial number of Republicans that voted for Democrats. Not unusual in this district, but at these numbers, it's incredible.
Melissa, the Republican closing, getting out the vote is so good in these parts here. Are we dealing with a different dynamic this time around?
I don't know. I don't know if people just have fatigue because we're just so overwhelmed with all the politics on television. I do think her being a younger woman played into it. I don't know. I mean, I know Vern gets a lot of Democrats and Republicans to vote for him, so I don't know if people just didn't like that perhaps he's running on his father's coattails. That was a perception. Right. I certainly don't think that, but I'm shocked.
With 100% of the precincts reporting, it looks like Margaret Good has won. 52.717% to James Buchanan's 44.8%. That was Rita over here. Rita, you know, it has been written often that in a normal circumstance, this is a really tough race for Democrats, and it wouldn't normally get a lot of attention.
We're overjoyed. Cannot believe that we carried by this big a margin, and I really think women came out to vote because they wanted to make a statement. We had a women's march here. We had 15,000 women come out of the woodwork to march. I think this is all about women and the women's movement.
Okay, we have to take a quick break, and we'll have more on the House 72 special election in a moment. Stay with us.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
I owed the IRS $20,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
We saved our home and overcame the most powerful collection agency in the world.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 1-800-565-7740. That's 1-800-565-7740.
This holiday season, show a little imagination. For her, how about a visit to the spa or an evening at a fine restaurant? For him, it could be a round of golf on a world-class course or gear from the pro shop. You'll find these gifts and more at rtjgolf.com/gift cards. RTJ gift cards and resort cards are easy to wrap and never go out of style. Whether it's a good drive, a great steak, or relaxation at the spa, find it at rtjgolf.com/gift cards.
WWSB ABC7 is an equal opportunity employer, and we're looking for qualified people to join our dynamic team. For a list of current openings and to apply online, visit www.mysuncoast.com/contact/employment. If you're a motivated team player and you want a rewarding career in a fun, fast-paced working environment, WWSB ABC7 could be the perfect fit for you. Check out our list of openings now.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
And we continue our coverage of the House 72 special election. Let's take one more look at the numbers. With 100% of the precincts reporting, Margaret Good will be your next state representative from House District 72. She obtained 52.17% of the vote to Republican James Buchanan's 44.8% of the vote. Allison Foxhall with just a little over 3% of the vote. And Jack Brill, I got to ask you, what does that portend for the future around here? Because if the Democrats can win a district like this, which for the last couple of cycles has not been winnable, people are obviously going to look at the midterms and see what comes next.
I think there's two factors. Very special, special election following, this fall. When we get to November, we're going to have the full base around. And, excuse me, and I think you're going to see this is I'm going to call it a one-off. And it's obviously, I'm not taking any of the way from Margaret's win. She won very fair and square. But I think the special election and the turnout and the interest it got and the amount of money, we should talk about all the money that came in on this whole thing, because this thing is going to be a $2 million race by the time it's all said and done.
You had former Vice President Joe Biden supporting Margaret Good, making robocalls for her. But then again, you had Corey Lewandowski, President Trump's former campaign manager, in town on Sunday rallying for James Buchanan. Melissa, I mean, we have a congressional election coming up and a lot of other state house races. Are you going to come back and try to take this House 72 away from Margaret Good in just about 9 months from now? A lot of questions.
Well, if I have to move to Sarasota, I just was going to sell my condo. I might have to change my mind. But no, like Jack said, I think this was a one-off, and you know, clearly we have some work to do on our messaging.
Okay, let's go out back out to Dwayne Lindo, who is with Joanne DeVries from the Sarasota Democratic Party, the chairwoman of the party. Dwayne.
Well, Alan, it's been a deafening roar here. I can barely hear myself think. But like you said, we have Joanne DeVries here from the chair of the Democratic Party. Joanne, congratulations. What did it take to get to this point?
Well, it took a lot of hard work, a lot of grassroots organization. Everybody came together. All the people in this room stepped up and did the work that we needed to do.
Yeah, so talk to me about what Ms. Good did throughout the campaign to get to this point.
Well, the nice...
And just FYI, I think Margaret Good is just arriving, but what has she done to this point?
Yeah, she worked hand in hand. We all came together, we all collaborated, there was no duplication of efforts. She knocked on doors, our volunteers knocked on thousands of doors, thousands of phone calls around the state, and especially here in Sarasota and Manatee. It's just so exciting. It's a good night in Sarasota.
Well, thank you, Joanne, thank you. I know you have to go and introduce Margaret Good. But Alan, again, Margaret Good is the winner. Everyone here is happy about it. Back to you.
All right, Dwayne, if you could still hear me, try to get Margaret over to your camera so we could talk to her before we go off the air. Rita, you have presided over the Democratic Party here in Sarasota County through some pretty bad times. The question comes to you, as I've been asking our Republican friends, keep in mind, just the other day, the Cook report changed the congressional district from safe Republican to likely Republican. Do you have aspirations that you could flip that from red to blue?
I do tonight, and I will tell you, when I was the chairman of the party, Sarasota County came within 256 votes for voting for Barack Obama, which was historic here in Sarasota. So we know how to win, and it's all about the crossover of Republican voters. And that's what happened tonight, and I think that we also need to say something about Vern Buchanan's name did not carry his son. And I think that's the interesting part of the congressional is, will that have an effect on Vern?
You know, Keith, Tip O'Neill once said, all politics is local. And I know our friends from the Tampa Times wrote today that this race kind of flips that on its head. But is that really true? Is it the national mood, or was it really looking at James Buchanan and Margaret Good?
No, it really does have to do with the national mood. And I want to be clear, not to take anything away from Margaret. She was a fantastic candidate, and she worked her head off, and it was a team effort. But there's no question that the national mood has a lot to do with it, and there's one person's name has to come up, and that's Donald Trump. Democrats have picked up one after another special election around the country in places they weren't supposed to. And I would say...
And it's not a one-off.
And I would say about the one-off thing is that, you know, it's going to happen because Trump is not going to change.
We have to take a quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye, and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation.
1-800-813-0109.
Rugs as Art. You know the name, you know the building, but do you know what's inside? Yes, Rugs as Art is Florida's #1 area rug superstore, but there is so much more. Amazing furniture, accessories, and art. All this and more. Come see for yourself. You'll love our personal touch and be pleasantly surprised by our affordable prices. Rugs as Art and more. There is so much more to explore.
A promise was made. A promise that hit the beaches of Normandy. A vow that captured Iwo Jima. A contract that weathered Tet. A pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq. An IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar. A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
Our guest joining us right now for final thoughts. Jack, I know you're not happy right now. It looks like the non-affiliated voters went for Margaret Good. You lost some Republican voters who voted for Margaret Good. Why?
I think all the negative messaging on all sides would have had something to do with it. You know, it had a lot of national attention, very unique election, not something that's going to be a bellwether. I will congratulate Margaret Good on her win tonight. She earned it. But November's coming, and I'm sure we'll have another candidate here soon.
But Melissa, is it safe to say that all bets are off? Just because you have the name Buchanan doesn't mean that you automatically win an election on the Suncoast?
Oh, yes, without question. And I would like to congratulate Margaret. I'm in junior league with her. I've known her several years. She's a lovely lady, and you know, we clearly have a lot of work to do. So I'm just shocked that the amount of Republicans that voted for her. Now, I do know, because I've met myself with campaign strategists when I've talked about running, and women automatically have a 10-point lead over a man regardless of party affiliation.
You know what I'm not hearing a lot tonight, Rita, is whether issues carried the day here. Is it the national mood and good campaigning or bad campaigning? What about the issues? Where does that fall in here?
Well, first of all, I definitely feel that it's a wave, and I will say that the GOP playbook, the sanctuary cities, that just didn't play here in Sarasota. Sarasotans didn't buy it.
Okay, so now the next step will be the midterms. Where do the dynamics for this race and other Suncoast races go from here?
The first big winner tonight is Margaret Good. The second biggest winner tonight is David Shapiro, who suddenly becomes a viable and credible candidate in a U.S. congressional race here in the Suncoast.
Okay, very good. FYI, you can watch this discussion again if you want. It's available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. And for the latest on local breaking news, don't forget to download the updated version of our app. If your current app doesn't work, it's expired, just go to the App Store and re-download it by searching for WWSB or My Suncoast. When we come back, Dwayne Lindo is working hard through the crowd to get Margaret Good live for us. We'll see if he is successful. Stay with us.
You love your couch and want to protect it from spills, food, and scratching, shedding pets. Introducing Couch Coat, the reversible, washable quilted cover that protects your couch. Shield against spills, wow, stop stains, and dirty pet paws and sharp claws. Plus, it's reversible with 2 stylish colors. Guaranteed to fit any couch up to 92 inches or your money back. It even has covers to protect armrests. Machine washable too.
My grandkids destroy everything, but with Couch Coat, my couch is always protected, looking as good as it did the day I bought it.
Get your Couch Coat for just $19.99, and it's reversible in brown and cream, like 2 couch coats for the price of 1. Order right now, and you can double your offer. Get a second Couch Coat. Just pay a separate fee. Order right now.
Call 1-800-943-0710 to get your couch coat. Call now or go to couchcoat.com. So call 1-800-943-0710. That's 1-800-943-0710. Call now.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think it up.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004.
Welcome back. The most exciting night in politics this year on the Suncoast, the special election in House District 72. Margaret Good, the Democrat, is your new state representative from the Suncoast. Basically, it was an unexpected victory over James Buchanan, the son of Congressman Vern Buchanan. We have a couple of moments left with our roundtable here. Jack, I would imagine you go back to the drawing board for this House race now. Does James run again? Do you find another candidate to take on Margaret Good in just 9 months?
Those will all be decisions that will be made in the next few days. I think, we've got several viable candidates to look at it.
Want to name names?
No, of course not. You know that. James needs to reflect on whether he wants to run again. He may, be ready to get right back into it, but we may also have some other candidates also.
Keith, let me ask you this, because we are in the middle of a legislative session right now with about a month remaining in it. Does Margaret Good go directly up there, get sworn into office, and start working?
Yeah, just so you know how this goes for the candidate, is they think they've been through the most intense experience in their life, and they win the election. I did not know that as soon as it's certified, you're a member of the legislature. So you go right up there and you're on the floor and you're voting. She's in the middle of session. So for her, the roller coaster ride is just beginning.
Melissa, you've been involved in support of a lot of Republican candidates on the Suncoast. Do you take a day off and just to regroup, or do you, start talking in the morning about, okay, how do we not only win this seat back, but make sure that we don't lose other seats come November?
Yeah, I think the Republican leaders, we're going to be meeting tomorrow.
Right.
We need to.
And Rita, where do you go from here in terms of, do you try to entice other Democrats into other races
It just got a lot easier to recruit. And Margaret will be heading to Tallahassee tomorrow, I believe. We are on a roll. I think you'll see a full slate of candidates coming from the Democratic side.
Okay. We want to thank all our guests for being here tonight. Jack Brill, Vice Chair of the Sarasota Republican Party, Republican activist Melissa Howard, former Democratic Chairwoman Rita Ferrandino, and Keith Fitzgerald, the former state representative and the former stakeholder in this House race. Margaret Good is talking to her campaign supporters as we speak right now, and coming up at 11 o'clock tonight, we'll have complete coverage from Rick Adams and Dwayne Lindo in the field. So that will do it for now. With 100% of the votes, Margaret Good is your new campaign, your new state representative. Let's take a peek at her right now.
No. You don't get the money. Our producer's in the house. I used to work for you. Thank you to Kevin Latta, my campaign manager. And to our outstanding campaign staff. I am so proud and so grateful.
And that is all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.